Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome back to another episode of Books and Buds. On this channel, we like to discuss the books that aren't receiving the attention that we feel they deserve, and some of the artists, some of the authors that we don't feel receive the attention they deserve. One of my favorite writers I'm very excited about today's episode is Whitley Strieber. I discovered him many, many years ago because I was in the New Age section of my local bookstore. I saw the cover of his book titled Communion. It's the book he's probably most well known for. And I'll tell you what, I was like, let's try this book out. It's pretty interesting. I read the back cover. And it wasn't a work of fiction, which I normally read, but it drew me in. It gave me a good idea of what the book was about. So I read a few pages and decided to purchase it. It was only like $7.99 or something like that for a soft cover. Now, I have a few questions about aliens and everything else myself. I'm only human. There's some strange stuff that takes place in the night sky sometimes. There's a lot of accounts you see on TV or on YouTube, and like, all right, let's see what's going on. Definitely left me with more questions and answers. But I enjoyed the way he wrote it. I thought it was a great book. Even if it was a work of fiction, I would have really thought it was amazing. It was just really fun, really well written. And upon reading it, I discovered that he also writes a lot of fiction. So that was when I learned that he was the guy who wrote The Wolf, and he's the one that wrote The Hunger. And it's just, he's a good writer. But the books that I think are the best by him are the fictional accounts of aliens and I guess using his experiences with this abduction phenomenon that he claims to have gone through. He uses it to weave some interesting tales. And in this book, The Greys, it's just no different. I mean, this was such an amazing book. I really loved it. I was stuck down in Ocala, Florida. I was stuck at a truck stop for a few days down there, and I decided to pick this book up. It's across the street at a local Walmart getting some things. I checked the book section. I saw Whitley's name on there, and I said, hey, I like that guy. Let's see what we can do. So I read it, and about the 3 days I was stuck in that truck stop, it really blew me away. It's about this young boy named Connor. Now, he's pretty much living in this neighborhood that the gray aliens over time created. Many generations passed with them making sure that certain people were intertwining with each other in their lives. So in a way, they were genetically altering people to make the perfect human. And that's how Connor was created. He's kind of, I guess, a genetic version of their idea of a perfect human, because in this book, the aliens can't really communicate with humankind to tell us the things that they think that we should understand about the universe. So the best way to do that is to create the perfect human, because humans already have the ability to communicate with each other. So that's where Connor Stevens comes in. But also it really starts to get interesting because the government knows about their little plan, and they're getting involved too because they want to put a stop to it. They're completely frightened about what could happen. And then comes this other character, this nice young girl named Lauren Glass. Lauren Glass, and she is able to communicate with these aliens. She doesn't realize she's able to communicate with these aliens, which is really interesting. So she's brought into this very reluctantly, and then they just bring her to this underground location, this secret government location, and they bring her into this area where there's a gray, pretty much the last one that they have. I forget exactly what, I think it was one of those spaceship crashes that you hear about on TV or whatever, but they had one of these gray aliens, and she was blown away. But she was even more so blown away to learn that everything that's been going on in her life was directly related to this and her ability to communicate with them. So she's got a little bit of comfort in that, but learning that she can communicate with aliens, learning that they're truly real, it blows her mind. And then she ends up kind of taking a sidetrack from the way the government wants her to go, and ends up helping this young boy because she feels the aliens do have something they can teach us. And that's something the government didn't want. They didn't want her to make friends with this alien and for her to help them out, but that's what makes good writing. That's what makes Whitley Strieber such a good author. I love him. I'm going to leave a link below for his, where you can find this. He's just fantastic. I'll tell you what, I plan on doing a few more books by him because I want to bring attention to him. He has had some success. That movie called The Day After Tomorrow, that was based off his book, Nature's End. They made a movie out of Communion. I told you earlier, The Hunger, The Woven. And even though it says right there in the cover, soon to be a major motion picture, I have yet to see it. I think this one needs to be turned into a movie because I think they would do a good job putting the right hands, maybe like Steven Spielberg or something like that. The right hands would do a good job with a book of that nature. But I mean, the guy, you just don't hear about him as much anymore, and I think he should be in the limelight. And I specifically think his books about the gray aliens should be in the limelight because they're just so damn interesting. One thing I do get a little tired of, because I'm a big fan of the horror genre, is I get tired of werewolves, which he's written about. I get tired of vampires, which he's written about. I just get tired of your typical cliche horror villains. However, you don't hear much about the gray aliens, and they quite frankly, the only ones that interest me anymore. They're the only ones I find frightening. I could give a rat's butt about zombies these days. I think they've been done to death. But gray aliens, I think they're a wonderful genre and subgenre in the horror genre, and I'd like to see more of it. So please, I'm going to leave a link below for his book. Give the man some support. Give him a try for yourself, because that's what we do on this station. We try to support the authors that don't get the attention we feel that they deserve. All right, everybody. This was a quick one because I got a lot of work to do as far as the bud industry goes. Keep an eye out for Burning Bush if you're a medical Maine card holder in Maine. We love you. Thank you for doing business with us. Stay cool, everybody.